Hey y'all, how you doing? Colin and Morty here, back for another video. You might see my kitty now and then in the background, jumping around and whatever. This is Morty. He's a little feisty kitty sometimes, but we get along pretty well together. He doesn't pay any rent or pay any bills. Uh, I gotta change his poop box all the time, clean his poop out of there. So he's living like a king with his organic, grain-free kitty food and whatnots. So he's not hurting for anything except for maybe some attention. He's always wanting attention, hanging around, things like that. Say hi, Morty. Hi, hi. Oh, ow, ow, ow. Oh, okay. We'll put you down. Oh, ooh. Okay. Anyway, I hope you guys had a good weekend. We had a good weekend. We cooked outside today. Uh, Connie made some steaks on the grill and made us a nice salad. And we had potato salad, some vegetables, stuff like that. It was pretty nice day outside, actually. Oh, wow. Anyway, um, and over the weekend, we also picked up a rocking chair. Now you know you're getting old when you're wanting a rocking chair, folks. Not really. We've always had this sort of little dream of getting a place in the country sometime, where we would have this porch, maybe on the front porch or back porch or wherever it's at, and it would be out in, kind of on out in the outskirts of town in the country or somewhere where there's no distractions of the everyday dilly dally hubbub of everyday life, just where you can sit out there and visit with each other after a hard day at work or whatever you're doing. And that was just one of the dreams we have. And we picked up this old rocking chair. I'm not really sure if it's old. Uh, to me, it looks like a project somebody may have made in their work shed or someplace like that, because for a rocking chair, it's really made out of thick, solid wood, and it's kind of big, and the seats like this thick on it, and it's really slacked up and shined up real good and everything. It could even be made out of parts of other furniture. I'm not sure, but it's a really nice rocking chair. Now we just got to find a second one somewhere. I'm sure that everybody dreams of something in their life to where they can get away from their work or their job. Um, once you get a little older, like I'm getting, I'm like 51 now. I'll be 52 in September. You've already been through a lot of things in your life, chaos and whatnot, and whatever's been going on, and you just want to get away, and that's kind of our little thing right now. Where we talk about cat fur in my mouth. Okay. When you got a cat, every now and then you got to pick fur out of various spots. Anyway, um, yeah, but that's just a little deal on the rocking chair, and I'll put a picture in somewhere in the video or something of that. Um, And besides that, I picked up some more records, just a few. I'm sure a lot of you have seen this all over the internet or somewhere. This is David Bowie, Aladdin Sane. Now, this is new to me. I've never heard this record. I've heard a lot of David Bowie songs, the real famous stuff you always hear on the radio. Um, and I really enjoyed this. It's a gatefold, dropping stuff. Which ways it go? And this is during his Ziggy Stardust days. He took on that persona at his concerts and on his albums and things. Um, and I listened to this and I really enjoyed it. I noticed it's been reissued now and you can get it for like $35. But if you get the earlier versions of this was still sort of pricey for a record. It was $18, but it's way better than $35 for the new one on the really thick vinyl and stuff. But this is a nice copy of an older one. And next, next, I know you're probably going to say, what's he showing us for? But I have the best of Sonny and Cher right here. I've always liked stuff from the variety shows that used to be on back. Remember they had the Sonny and Cher show, the Osmonds, the Jacksons even had a variety show for a while, I think. There was a cartoon called the Archies. Who else was on? There was all kinds of variety shows on back in the day. Johnny Cash had his own show. There was even the comedy shows like Laugh-In, things like that. And this music always reminds me of those days when I was a kid growing up, and I would get into my older uncles and things record collections, mostly 45s. I would find records by Sonny and Cher, or just, this has The Beat Goes On, a very enjoyable song, and I Got You, Babe. Those are the two most famous songs by Sonny and Cher, I believe. And I picked this up. It's a best of Sonny and Cher, just so we can go back and do some nostalgic remembering. Sometimes I mostly just sit around and listen to my music alone all the time, and I'm just sitting here in the quiet. Sometimes I'm naked, listening to music on my record player over there, turntable, by myself, just sitting here naked, drinking a tasty frosty drink and listening to my records because I can, and if I want to. Anyways, next record, that might have been too much information. Anyway, we have Free Live. I haven't listened to this one yet. You've seen me show some free records in previous videos, and like I had the best of Free and some other free albums. The band is called Free. I didn't get this free. Although a few years ago, you probably could have got records free when people would leave them by the curb or in the trash or somewhere, and now they've blown up into this big thing again where this is probably $50 somewhere now reissued when it was probably 50 cents or $1 back in the day. I think this one was $6. But it's got All Right Now, one of their famous songs, and I really like Fire and Water. That's a good one too. I'll have to listen to the rest of it. I've never heard one of their live albums, but we will check this out and see how that goes. What else we got? Lastly, I wasn't going to show this again. This is a record I picked up a while back, probably about a year ago. I had to donate to one of those GoFundMe type things. And they would send you this record for donating to some charity. I can't even remember what it is now. But I got this and a cassette tape. And this is the Jeff Bridges sleeping tapes. And it's him kind of just talking and like he's out in the woods and stuff, and it has all these sounds like water flowing, leaves crunching, the wind blowing, somebody pooping on the toilet, I don't know. And you get those sound effects and plop, plop, and then plop, those kind of sounds. No, not really, but this is actually a pretty good record just for him talking. And It's supposed to help you sleep, but I never fell asleep to it. But the reason I'm wanting to show this is because this is the record that actually got me started on doing some of my previous videos where I would just come on and read my poetry, or I did a few videos of a thing I called Radio Crazy, where I would just come on and talk about day-to-day life events or things like that, news and stuff like they used to do back in the old radio days, which you don't find very much anymore on the radio. Um, the radio nowadays seems like it's all controlled by computers and advertisements. Well, they had advertisements then, but they were fun. Now they're just like all the songs are programmed. The top 10 hits of people who don't really play any instruments or anything else. Everything's controlled by computers. Um, but I miss the old days of radio. This is what got me started on doing some of those old videos I used to do. I don't know if I'll do any more. Maybe sometime. We'll see. Let's see. Antiques. You know, I like these glasses with the crazy characters on them from the 70s. I don't know what this cartoon was, but it says Go Go Gophers. And they are wearing war bonnets, and one's got a feather. uh, you know, you could pick these up. They would give these out at Burger King, McDonald's, Taco Bell, Arby's, places like that. Um, I don't. This doesn't say. It just says collect Pepsi collector series, Leonardo. So I'm not sure if this one was given out in a restaurant. And I don't even know what that cartoon was. I just thought it was cute. Um, but they used to give these out in the restaurants with the cartoon characters or whatever on the outside. And I think they stopped doing them because they found out that a lot of these were painted with lead-based paint. And if you give this to a kid, you know, a kid might and start chewing on the glass because they like to chew on all kinds of shit. And they might chew on this glass and poison themselves with lead paint on there. And lastly, I have this little radio here. I bought this probably, dang, it's been a year, 2 years ago, but I never tried to play it until now. And I opened this up, and lo and behold, there was a battery in there still. And I kind of panicked. I was like, oh no, somebody left the battery in this. Because as you know, if you leave a battery in anything that's battery powered by the, you know, little cell batteries, um, over time, if that just sits, the battery will break open and all the battery stuff will get all over everything and ruin the battery compartment of whatever your battery powered object is. So I was like concerned. I went to the store. Well, first of all, I took the old battery out. It wasn't broken open, luckily. It didn't break open. The one that was in here from the 70s or 80s, whenever this radio was made. I'm assuming the 70s because it's an AM radio. And so I popped the battery in, a new one, and it worked. I was very surprised. Um, it does have this keychain thing on it. I don't know why. You know, I guess back in the day, people would put their keys on this and shove this thing in their pocket or something and carry that around. I mean, that might be a little cumbersome carrying your keys around with your on your radio. That's the way people roll back in the 70s, y'all. That's the way people roll back in the 70s, y'all. They carried their crap on a big old radio and stuck that in their pocket for days and days. They just sat around, and when they wanted to listen to a radio station, they turned this on.
trade with the Chargers. Instead, he went undrafted and he signed with the Falcons. At 252, I had the Bengals keeping the pick, and I had him taking Keyshawn Bierria out of Washington. Yeah, no, so I feel a little bit comfortable with that. I also panicked the Patriots organization and Bill Belichick because I had Braxton Berrios.
But it does work. It doesn't pick up very many stations. And that's that. Hope you enjoyed your weekend. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll put the rocking chair on the end here. And Colin, over and out. And Weirdos Unite.